Hey guys, I just wanted to walk you through how to make the masks that I plan on donating to a couple of clinics in Warner Robins and also to some individuals. If you haven't seen the masks, they're like this, and they're also reversible. It has their elastic on the back, and the pattern is super simple and it's only 6 stitch lines. So even if you hand sew it or having a sewing machine, you can complete this. So let me just go ahead and show you the pattern pieces that I created that you can download as well. So there are two pattern pieces. One of them is for interfacing and the reverse side of the lining, so that would be the purple. And then the other one, it says cut for the outer fabric. It would be the one that's the larger piece, that I guess would be the dominant piece of your mask. And you would cut those out, and if you're printing them, make sure that this is actually a 1 inch by 1 inch square, and that'll help you when making sure that it printed the right size. But for those of you who do not have a printer, and I'll show this one because I'm going to edit that for you, but those of you who don't have a printer, I put the measurements and the dimensions so you can do it yourself. So you would draw a 3 inch by 13/16 line, and then you would draw in the middle a 5.5 inch line, and then you would draw a like 4 3/4 inch away, you would then draw a 7 inch line. So that almost gives you a box with a line in it, and then you would curve your parts to fit those marks. Okay, so after you cut your pattern out, of course you need to cut it out of the fabric. So 2 pieces out of the larger one and 2 pieces out of the smaller one. And it also lets you do, it asks for interfacing, but this is optional. So interfacing, this one's a fusible, it's a fusible interfacing, and what that is it has adhesive on one side, and you can iron it on and it can stick. There's also sew on interfacing, but like I said, it's optional. It just helps with making your mask a little more sturdy. Okay, so for those of you who aren't familiar with the sewing machine, you're actually going to set your fabric, and this one's already stitched, but you want to set your fabric right at the edge of your presser foot, and that's a 1/4 inch. So I would drop my foot down, and I would sew, making sure that this fabric stays in line with the foot. Okay, so you would sew that, and you have to do the same thing to the other ones. After you do your stitches at a 1/4 inch seam allowance, you need to iron on the wrong side. So put the nice side facing down, so easier to see on this pink one. So put the nice side facing down, and you want to go ahead and fold over and iron both sides. Okay, so do that on the larger piece too. So fold over and iron. Now both of the pieces have been folded over for me. You want to go ahead and line them up with the, as you would say, the nice side facing the nice side. So bad sides out, like so. Trying to do this one-handed, sorry. So they would line up nicely, and you're going to put it at the edge. This one is a lot smaller, so that's something to take note. It's a lot smaller because it's going to flip over and do the reversible thing. Just trust me. So you want to sew on this edge all the way across, and then you're going to take this side and sew it all the way across. So again, at a 1/4 inch is how you'll be sewing. So keep that fabric lined up at the edge of your foot. I'm doing this with one hand, guys. So fabric lined up at the edge. Okay? So just so that you can see the big difference, so this one is that much. So just so that you can see the big difference, so this one is that much smaller than that one. So you line up that edge, and you're going to sew it together. Okay, so once you have this all sewn up, it looks something like this. You have to turn it right side out. So you're going to pull it through and flip it out, kind of like a pillowcase. Okay. Once you flip it out, you're left with something like this. Okay, so now you're seeing what the mask actually looks like, and you just have to add elastic. You're going to use 6.5 to 7 inches of elastic. I have found that some elastic is a lot more stretchy than others, so you want to definitely check by trying it on your ears. I found at the Family Dollar the best option for this were these headbands. So all I do is they're exactly the size. I cut them in half, and all I do is cut the little metal part off and just cut this in half, and it's exactly what you need to finish a headband. And it's kind of cool, like it looks a little bit more professional as well. Have your pieces cut in half. So this is one whole headband just cut in half, and the silver crumpet, or what is it called? Grommet, not a grommet, whatever, how they make the headband, is removed, cut off, and you're going to affix it to either end of your mask. So you would do that using a zigzag stitch. If you have this little machine, this is my smaller one. I'm going to use this 3 one right here. So you stick your elastic into your mask end here, and you're going to zigzag stitch all the way down, but make sure before you get to the end, you fold over your other piece of elastic and stick it into that end, okay? So now I have zigzag stitched on both ends, and I used a different color on the other side, a green, because it matched really well, and you're all set.